Have you ever taken a week off from the gym because of a cold or a busy schedule? Then looked in the mirror and felt like all your muscle had vanished? Or maybe you came back from vacation and put on your workout clothes, feeling anxious that everything you built might be gone? The truth is, many people push themselves to work out, even when sick or exhausted, because they fear rapid muscle loss from even a short break. But here's something truly surprising. Your muscles are far more resilient and durable than you think. According to a 2023 study from the University of Texas Exercise Physiology Department, muscle loss happens much more slowly than you imagine. And short breaks can actually benefit muscle growth. Today, we're going to explore this fascinating topic with scientific accuracy and practical information you can actually use. I was personally curious about this for a long time. During the COVID pandemic, when gyms closed, so many people felt tremendous anxiety about losing years of hard-earned muscle. After thoroughly researching the studies and consulting sports medicine experts, I discovered some truly reassuring facts. So when exactly does muscle start shrinking? When you stop exercising? To answer this question, we need to understand the changes that happen in your body over different time periods. Groundbreaking research from the Copenhagen University Sports Science Institute shows that muscle loss progresses in stages, and what happens in your body is completely different at each stage. During the first 48 to 72 hours, your muscles don't actually shrink at all. What you perceive as muscle loss during this period isn't real muscle loss. According to research from McGill University's Sports Medicine Department, the changes occurring during this time are reductions in muscle glycogen and water. When you exercise, glycogen is stored in your muscles, and each gram of glycogen binds with about 3 grams of water. When you stop training, this glycogen gradually depletes, and the stored water leaves with it. That's why your muscles look flatter and seem smaller. In fact, a study from Liverpool John Moores University in the UK found that subjects who stopped exercising for 72 hours showed almost no change in muscle mass. But muscle volume decreased by an average of 5%. This wasn't muscle breakdown but rather water loss. The good news is that when you resume training, this water returns in just 1 to 2 days, and your muscles return to their original size. So when does real muscle loss actually begin? Here's a really important fact. For healthy adults, true muscle loss doesn't start until about 2 to 3 weeks. A 2022 large-scale study by the American College of Sports Medicine found that when people who exercised regularly stopped completely, there was almost no detectable muscle mass decrease during the first 2 weeks. Many people even experienced slight strength improvements during this period, due to supercompensation from adequate rest. But things start changing after 3 weeks. According to research published by Harvard Medical School's muscle physiology team, muscle protein synthesis rates begin declining from week 3, while muscle protein breakdown rates relatively increase. From this point, you start losing about 0.5 to 1% of muscle mass per week. This is actually a very slow rate. If you have 10 kilograms of muscle, you'd only lose 50 to 100 grams per week. What's more interesting is that loss rates differ depending on muscle fiber type. Research from Victoria University's Exercise Science Institute in Australia shows that fast-twitch fibers atrophy faster than slow-twitch fibers. Fast-twitch fibers are primarily used during high-intensity exercise or heavy lifting, while slow-twitch fibers are used for endurance activities. Therefore, people who mainly did strength training might notice decreases in power and maximum strength more quickly. But here's something amazing. According to long-term tracking research from McMaster University in Canada, people who have trained for longer periods lose muscle much more slowly. This is called muscle memory. When someone who trained consistently for 5 years and someone who trained for 1 year both stopped exercising for the same period, the 5-year veteran experienced much less muscle loss and recovered 3 times faster when resuming training. Why does this happen? Research by the cellular biology team at the University of Oslo in Norway revealed the mechanism. Exercise increases the number of nuclei in muscle cells, and these nuclei remain in the muscles long after you stop training. Since muscle cell nuclei act as blueprints for protein synthesis, when you resume training later, these nuclei immediately activate to rapidly rebuild muscle. Some studies showed this effect can last up to 15 years. How does age affect muscle loss rate? A comparative study from Tokyo Physical Education University found that people in their 20s and 30s had almost no muscle loss up to 4 weeks. But those over 50 showed slightly faster loss starting from 3 weeks. However, the important thing is that this difference wasn't dramatic. Even for people in their 50s, the loss rate was only about 1.2% per week, which is still very slow. Training level also has a major impact. According to research from the German Sport University in Cologne, elite athletes started losing muscle faster than regular people. This is because athletes' muscles are adapted to continuous high-intensity stimulus, so they respond more sensitively when that stimulus disappears. In contrast, people who trained at a recreational level had much more leeway. Now for what you're really wondering about. How long can you rest? A comprehensive analysis from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that healthy adults can maintain over 90% of their existing muscle mass for about 4 to 6 weeks. This means a month of rest has almost no impact on your muscles. Some studies even found that 2 to 3 weeks of planned rest had positive effects on muscle growth. There's a fascinating experiment from the Paris Sports Science Institute in France. They divided a group that had trained intensely for over 6 months into 2 teams. One team continued exercising while the other rested completely for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, when both groups trained with the same program for 12 weeks, the group that rested actually showed greater muscle gains. This was because adequate rest resolved accumulated fatigue, restored the central nervous system, and increased muscle receptor sensitivity. What about cases where you can't move due to injury or illness? This is a completely different situation from regular rest. Research from Maastricht University Medical Center in the Netherlands shows that complete bed rest causes much faster muscle loss. You can lose about 0.5 to 1% of muscle per day. This is about 7 times faster than normal rest, because you're not experiencing gravitational forces and even daily activities are absent. But there's hopeful news here too. According to research from Johns Hopkins Hospital's Rehabilitation Medicine Department, even during bed rest, simple isometric exercises or electrical stimulation therapy could reduce muscle loss by over 50%. Even if you can't move your limbs, just tensing your muscles provides significant protective effects. So how can you minimize muscle loss during a break? First, and most important, is protein intake. According to the nutrition research team at the University of Exeter in the UK, consuming 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight during a training break significantly reduced muscle loss. This is slightly more than usual to maintain muscle protein synthesis, even without exercise stimulus. Second is maintaining minimal activity. Research from the University of Illinois shows that just one workout per week prevented over 80% of muscle loss. Even if that one session was lower intensity than usual, it was still effective. If you normally train 5 times weekly, maintaining just once a week can preserve nearly all your muscle. Third is adequate sleep. According to the Chicago University Sleep Research Center, sleep deprivation during a training break accelerates muscle loss by more than twice. Conversely, 8 or more hours of quality sleep tremendously helps muscle preservation because growth hormone is secreted most during sleep. Fourth is not reducing calories too drastically. Many people think they must cut calories significantly when not exercising, but this is wrong. Stanford University's Nutrition Science Department found that eating 20% or more below maintenance calories nearly tripled muscle loss rate. Even when not training, 90% of your basal metabolic rate remains, so only slightly reducing calories is wise. Fifth is stress management. The stress hormone cortisol promotes muscle breakdown. Harvard Medical School research showed that chronic stress caused muscle loss 40% faster than normal. Managing stress through meditation, yoga, and adequate rest is also important for muscle preservation. And muscles built over years don't disappear in a few weeks. All that effort is deeply ingrained in your body, ready to awaken anytime. Exercise is a lifelong journey. Remember that sometimes resting is an important part of that journey. Don't be too anxious and trust your body. I hope this video relieved your anxiety and helps you maintain a healthier, more sustainable fitness lifestyle. Please like and subscribe, and in my next video, we'll explore the most effective ways to resume your training routine after a break. I'm cheering for your healthy fitness journey. Have a great day.